what is up? Welcome to Day Ray with me, your girl Ray Ray. So today I'm going to be making Cootie bug cake pops. Now this is not to offend anyone, it is just to make light and have a little bit of fun with the seriousness of what is going on in the world right now. Now, the reason why I'm using the words cootie bug is because if you use this word, and I will put it somewhere on the screen, you get demonetized. So, to not use the word, we're going to say cootie bug. And I'm not going to put the number or anything. First things first is what I'm going to do is I'm going to oil and spray some oil into the Ferrero Rocher shells so that way my almond bark does not stick. So I'm getting my almond bark together. I put it in the microwave and melted it, and I poured some in and just smoothed it around the sides of the Ferrero Rocher shell. So now I'm going to take my little cake pop doodad, which I actually didn't mind this too much. I'm piling in my cake pop mixture and squeezing it in there, and then you just press it down, and I like that all the little excess stuff comes out, which is really nice. And then I dipped my cake pop sticks in and just kind of put them in there while the cake pops were still just kind of chilling in there, and I thought that was pretty darn neat. So believe it or not, I did wait a few minutes and then I opened it up. Now, like I said, my cake pop mix was a little chunky, so I just like kind of shaped them. They stuck a little bit, so now I know next time maybe to spray it a little bit. And then I just shaped them and made them a little bit tighter and set them off to the side. I actually put them in the freezer. Once they came out of the freezer, I also melted more almond bark and I dipped all 3 cake pops in there. Some of them I double dipped. Of course, you have to shake the excess off. Now here I had an accident. I went to get my shell out of the refrigerator and I was so upset because it got stuck, and as I went to go pull it out, it shattered and I was so upset. And then the second one shattered. So my idea was I was going to take some saran wrap and cover the shell and then again oil it so the chocolate doesn't stick. And now, like, I tried to get all the air and push it up as close as possible to the edge of this shell. So that's what I did, and now I'm just folding it over and I'm making sure that the chocolate is all nice and evenly covered. And I'm going to do 2 coats of this. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator to chill, and then I'm going to do another coat to make sure that it can hold the cake pop mixture. So while that's in the refrigerator, I'm taking some black food coloring powder, and I'm just coloring the cootie bug. Now, if you look at the pictures of the cootie bug, it looks like gray and like white and whatever. So, which is why I was so bummed that I couldn't get the texture effect from the Ferrero Rocher thing, because that would have been like perfect. But I just colored it gray. And now I'm taking a toothpick and I'm dipping it in the almond bark, and I'm sprinkling some orange nonpareils, little teeny tiny nonpareils, because if you look at the picture of the cootie bug that is going around, it has like little orange, I guess spores would be the word. So that's what I'm doing on the cake pops, is just making the little orange doodad things that's in between the red ones. So while my little orange spores dry, my shell is nice and chilled, it is nice and firm. So now I'm taking my cake pop mixture and I am filling both halves of the Ferrero Rocher shell up. That, my friend, is a tongue twister. I'm making sure it's filled up to the top as much as possible so that way when I close them, there's not like a whole lot of gaps and everything like that. You don't have to put a cake pop mixture in it. This is just what I had. You could put candy or whatever. You could put orange and red candies in it, whatever, just goes with it. So now I'm peeling off my saran wrap, and I noticed that it's not completely even, and that's okay. Now I know most people, they would probably melt it and get a nice seam, but we're not doing that. This thing is humongous. So I'm just taking some almond bark and I'm just going to try to seal around the edge for right now. I'm just going to seal it in because I am going to melt more, and I'm going to pour it over just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. I'm also using my fingers because your body heat does melt chocolate, and I'm smoothing some of the sides where the saran wrap was, just smoothing it out. So what I have going on here is I melted some more almond bark and I poured it over top of the cake pop. Now I'm just taking my fingers and again I'm smoothing it out. There was a couple dips that needed to be filled with some chocolate, so I want that to harden. I did put this in the refrigerator and I poured the warm almond bark over top of it, and again, like I said, I'm just smoothing it. I want some bumps and ridges because again, if you look at the picture of the Cootie bug, then it is not, you know, even. So while that's chilling and hardening, I am going back to the little cake pops, and I have some red dragees from a Christmas sprinkle mix that I have, and I'm literally just doing the same thing. I'm putting some almond bark, and I'm just simply putting the red dragees or sugar pearls, that's the word, sugar pearls, some red sugar pearls on top of the cake pop. So now that my big cake pop is nice and hardened, again, I'm just going to repeat the process with the black food coloring powder, and I'm just taking this paintbrush and like going over it. It looks so much darker than what it actually is in person. It looks like a really nice faded gray, but my brush started to mess up and it really wasn't working. So I did an unconventional method that you will see here. Is right here. I'm just dipping my hands in the food coloring and I'm just like rubbing it in, and it's smearing, and because it's chocolate, it's melting and it's like really going in. Like I said, I don't understand why it's so dark. So now I'm letting that sit off to the side, and what I'm doing here for the final step on my little itty bitty cake pops, again, I'm sorry I keep going back and forth, is on top of the little red sugar pearl, I'm putting a little speck, a little drop right on the top of piping gel. And now I'm taking some crystallized sugar and putting it on top of the pearl to look like, because if you look at, again, the picture of the Cootie bug, it looks like little red trees or something on it. So I was just trying to recreate that effect. So again, now moving back to the final part of the big Cootie bug. Again, I'm just going to repeat the whole process over again with the orange nonpareils. And this time when I did the red, I used sixlets because they were bigger, because you have to cover a bigger area because it is a huge cake pop. It's like bigger than a baseball. So as you see here, I'm using like little red sixlets and I'm putting them on top. And then again, I'm going to repeat the same process with the sanding sugar, with the red sanding sugar on top of the sixlets. guys, here are our Cootie balls, our Cootie cake pops.